Today we're gonna build a computer. Today's video is sponsored by NordVPN, a virtual private network service that's designed to keep your information safe, encrypted, and secure from prying eyes on the internet. You wouldn't walk around in your house naked with all the windows open, would you? Okay, well maybe you would, but that's besides the point. Why would you do that if you don't want to? The same thing happens when you connect to the internet without a VPN. Anyone can spy on that information. So encrypt your data and keep it safe and secure regardless of where you live in the world, because they have more than 5,000 servers, including regions like the Middle East, Asia, Europe, of course the United States and the Americas, and you can keep your information safe and secure this holiday season. You can also save 75% off a 3-year membership, and if you use my offer code, Jayztwocents, you can get an extra month for free. So what are you waiting for? Give the gift of security or buy it for yourself by using the link in the description below. Okay, so I'm actually building a computer for my driving instructor. If you guys have followed my car stuff for a while, you know that I do a lot of high-performance driving events or HPDE events, and I have a driving coach. His name is Stephen Doherty, winner of the 2012 GT Academy. And yeah, so he has been giving me professional instruction for the last couple of years now to make me a better, safer, faster, competitive driver on track. Well, he hasn't really been into computers. I mean, sort of. He's mostly been like PlayStation and stuff, like I talked about Gran Turismo. And about a year and a half ago or so, gave him a laptop. An MSI laptop, but he's been playing some stuff on there like R Factor and whatnot. But now he's starting to get into virtual reality, specifically virtual reality simulators, mostly because he spent time on mine and he got bitten by the bug. So he hit me up and was like, hey, can you give me a list of parts? And I was like, I could do you one better. I could build you a better computer than you're gonna go out and buy, especially this time of year right now. And there won't be any import taxes. So parts-wise on this, I'm actually not going too over the top because I want this video to also sort of serve as a, you guys are used to seeing these kinds of builds here, right? The small form factor thing, obviously we've got the Titan sitting over there, the new RTX Titan sitting on the test bench and all of its gold glory, as well as the gold RAM and stuff. Here, I'll show you. Ridiculous gold RAM, gold Titan, white build. It's heavy, you know, because of all the gold. You guys are used to seeing these crazy builds like Skunkworks and Threadripper and all that, but you know, that is not indicative of the average PC enthusiast or builder, which is why this is a little bit more modest, but yet still amazing when it comes to gaming performance. So I'm throwing in a 7700K on an MSI Z270 M7 gaming motherboard. So it's nice and gunmetal-y. It says 7700X. Ignore the X. Phil pointed out that I wrote X and it was a K. I know my alphabet. I had alphabet soup when I was a kid. An alphabet. What's the alphabet cereal? I can't remember. So anyway, 7700K Z270 MSI M7 gaming motherboard. I'm gonna be putting 16 gigabytes of G-Skill DDR4. That's obviously because it's 7th gen, we need DDR4. I may switch this RAM out for something that's not red. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing anything else red in here. I know it lights up red, but anyway, that's kind of besides the point. For storage, again, nothing crazy. We've got a 1 terabyte Kingston SSD now. These are amazing values. In fact, you can find a link to this down in the description below. More than likely, I'll put a list of all the parts. This time of year, you can get amazing deals on SSDs, but the Kingston SSD now is always lesser expensive. It gave you amazing performance. We've used a bunch of these in budget builds in smaller sizes like 128 and 256. They last forever. I'm also running a 2 terabyte Seagate Barracuda because he's not gonna be running a lot of titles. He's not gonna be running a bunch of storage, you know, doing videos and pictures and stuff. And the load times on that are perfectly fine for games. Plus with the 1 terabyte, he can put all his important games on here that he wants. And then the Barracuda can be his, you know, whatever he wants on there. Power supply, we're gonna be using the Cooler Master Watt 750 Tough Gaming Edition. And we're pairing that with Cooler Master's, what is this? The Master Box MB500 Tough Edition. If you can't tell that there's obviously a collaborative effort between ASUS and Cooler Master on the Tough series stuff. Been looking for a reason to use this, and I think we finally found it. In terms of cooling though, I think I'm gonna use a H150i Pro because it's a 360. I can put a 360 on the front of this, and I'll probably switch out the fans to RGB. We'll probably do some Corsair RGB fans on this because I don't wanna do any case lighting, but I think if we put enough case fans in here that have lights themselves, it will illuminate the build and will look good. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and build it. And then, I don't know, what do you do after you build it? You install Windows, some crap like that, updates for 2 days. Let's get it all ready to ship to him. Let's make his Christmas amazing. Now it's important that I reiterate this. This build is not about being extreme. Yes, I'm aware that the parts on here are not budget. I never said this was gonna be a budget build. I wanted to give him an amazing build, but everything you're gonna see here is just direct bolt-in. It's stuff that you can buy off Amazon, Micro Center, Newegg, whatever. Throw it in your system. I'm gonna show you how good a system can look and how well it can technically perform without having to do anything crazy or custom. These rigid tube builds and stuff behind me, they're fun to do, but they're a huge diminishing return in terms of performance to cost. So it's one of those things where this build right here, we're not going over the top on the power supply. Like I mentioned, we're using a 750 watt. You guys know I like to put 1,000 watt in everything. Even like a budget build, I would throw 1,000 watt in there because I just like putting big power supplies in there. We're not going too crazy on the RAM. We could have gone with 8 gigs and been fine. I want to make sure that no matter what he decides to use, he's going to have plenty of performance. And in fact, for graphics on that, I forgot to even mention, I'm gonna also be putting in, for graphics though, I wanna see if the Zotac GeForce GTX 1080 Amp Extreme Edition will fit in there, because the accent colors for the Tough Edition are actually yellow. And this has got a gunmetal and yellow look, which would match our motherboard. Yes, I know how it sounds. Matching colors, this and that. People that are building regular systems don't usually have the luxury of matching colors. Well, fortunately in my inventory, I have the ability to do it and I want to do it. And I want to give him the best experience that he can. Look at that. Is it gonna fit in there? It will. Look how long that is in the case. Just. Okay, Phil says this looks like Vegas because of all the flashing lights and stuff. I like the particular blinking lights I have it set to right now. So you can use the little Corsair controller that's in the back side of the case to change the lighting config. These lights that I used are not, they don't plug into the RGB header on the motherboard, which means you can't control them with software. Which unfortunately means now we've got MSI Mystic Light to control the RGB on the motherboard. And I think we have to download the Zotac software to control the lighting on the motherboard or the graphics card. And then we have a different controller to control the lights that are in the case. So obviously the next thing I have to do is install an operating and stuff and our operating system and get everything updated, BIOS updates, driver updates and all that stuff. But I just wanted to show it does boot, everything works. We're running at 29C on the CPU right now at 4.2 gigahertz on the 7700K. We got 16 gigabytes of Kingston HyperX, or no, it's not HyperX, it's the Kingston Predator RAM, which is actually the first set of DDR4 that I ever reviewed on this channel when it first came out. The Zotac GTX 1080 Amp Extreme is obviously going to do all the heavy lifting when it comes to VR. It'll have no problems running games like Project Cars or iRacing or whatever when it comes to virtual reality. And then this system will last him quite a few years when it comes to being able to play additional games in the future. Like I said, he has a gaming laptop now. This is a huge upgrade from that. And I think he's really going to enjoy it. So we will be doing a complete build guide here in the near future though, of building kind of like the ultimate 9900K system. Again, not gonna be like rigid tubed or water cooled or anything like that. Just again, off the shelf parts and stuff, but designed for people who are maybe this Christmas getting their first PC parts and they're uncomfortable putting it together. We're gonna do a revised and brand new end of 2018 build guide. So stay tuned for that if you're curious about building your first computer or you're getting ready. Anyway guys, I'm gonna go. This was just an opportunity for me to shoot another build video. If you're into computers and stuff, it's always fun to watch it getting put together. And it's even more fun to watch me fumble through the process. I mean, look at the table. Remember that video I did where I went to NZXT and I saw their BLD service and I said that they're not builders, they're robots because they're not messy? These guys aren't builders, they're way too organized. I think they're robots. That's what I ended up with on the table, and all I did was build this. And I did it in about 3 times the amount of time that they build it in, and their stuff is even neater. So the difference between building it every single day for a living and then building it for fun like I kind of do. So anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Oh, this one's thicker.
It's tough. Stop getting alliance. You know, why is funny when you try to shoot the entire thing.